So our biggest task was just kind of bringing awareness to the fact that Mansion Munchies was reopening, and it was like a brand new enterprise, and it was completely run by students. Like, no longer was a gourmet dining chef behind the counter, it was us. For me personally, one of my favorite parts about this class is just during the downtime, like when we're trying to come up with specials or promotions or things that we want to run, we test all of it out first. So we'll get behind the kitchen and either we'll make new smoothies or we'll make new milkshakes, and we just kind of have fun with it, and then most of it ends up being on the menu because we like what it tastes like, and some of the other students do too. So that part's fun for us.
So my favorite part about the class was just being able to like work with everyone and kind of have your own ideas about something, you know, come to life, and just being friends with everyone. You know, we all came in, we didn't know each other, but now that we worked for however many hours we've had in class and stuff, we all kind of like created this bond where it's like we're all kind of sad to leave a little bit because we're not going to have like that connection anymore, but we're definitely going to stay friends after this, so that was pretty cool.
So like, coming into this class, like a lot of people look at it and they're like, oh, like it's so much work running a business, like all this stuff, and it's like, yeah, it is work, but it's like it should be the same work with all like that you do in your other classes. You know, you have your classes, but you also do your homework. Like we didn't really have like homework in this class, like papers and essays and stuff, but it's like you're always like with marketing, we're always creating new posts, making the Instagram, doing surveys, doing this, doing that. So there's always, you know, you get out of it what you put into it.
The opportunity came up for us to run a class in the old Snax cafe. Why? Because it wasn't going to be reopened again. So when I was told about the idea, I kind of thought, well, what do I want students to get out of it? And because my professional background in working in business for 30 years, I always kind of look at students as, you know, not so much what they should learn, but if I'm hiring them, what do I want them to be able to do? You know, the class is really getting them prepared for applying what they have learned in the different disciplines in their classes, which, you know, part of business is being multidisciplinary. Maybe not so much at your entry-level job, but people who climb up the chain, so to speak, have to know a lot about what's going on in different parts of the business. The thing that I wanted to focus on was getting some skills in being able to not only know what a P&L is, but to actually run a business off of a P&L. Okay, so if we look at the metrics, for example, we started off with 0 sales. Why? Because Mansion Munchies, which was really the old Snax, was closed for 2 years, so we were starting with 0. I would say most people on campus were assuming that was never going to open, so you know, we had a big learning curve on getting awareness. So we went from no sales to, by the last week, breaking even.
You know, it initially started out as a bit of an experiment. This last semester we had our first class in Mansion Munchies, and I was just there for support. The students developed the concept of the restaurant. They also developed the menu. I would step in when we saw if there were things that just couldn't be done, or if they needed some direction on what they thought would work. That's where I came in. Also with some of the food production, you know, getting the behind the scenes stuff done, cleaning and sanitizing and all that good stuff, because we're not trying to have students come into this class and start scrubbing dishes. That's not their responsibility. Their responsibility is to run the operation, from purchasing, sales, programming, the POS systems, the point of sale systems, marketing, which was really a pretty cool piece that they did. They did a great job on that. So yeah, it was, you know, I just kind of stay in the shadows a bit and only give them support. As much as I want to try to jump in and help, this is their baby. The challenges, you know, it's really, you know, I see it from a professional side. I see the students, they have a lot of other things going on in their life. So to stay completely focused on Mansion Munchies, it's not realistic. Although they did an unbelievable job, they really gave a lot of time and effort into the business. Because Chef Jeff's the best. No, I think it's a hands-on experience, and sometimes you don't get a lot of that when you're in classroom and you're lectured, and it's just you don't get as much hands-on experience. It's real life experience. It's the business world. It's the food service industry.
I didn't see a lot of challenges for the students. I think the students adapted remarkably well to the situation. We probably opened too late in the semester because it took a lot of time to get things together in the beginning. That I think will change next semester because we've worked during the summer with the professor, and so we've got a much tighter schedule for the pre-opening phase. Preparation period, the pre-opening period, and then the operating period. The pre-opening period, I was there every week, and we were meeting the students, and we had long meetings with the students to get them understanding what the concept was, understanding how they were going to operate this. And as it was the first time, of course, there was no history. When you've done that a few times, you've got student assistants who come, who can help and all that. So we had to do a lot of, talking, conversation with the students. It's a kind of normal class where you're meeting at certain times. The rest of the semester, that changes. There are meetings during the week that are classroom time, that are unpaid, because you're in class, and then there's the operation time when you're actually scheduling yourself or anybody else, and you're paying people to actually operate the restaurant. That's that's where there's some confusion, because people think, oh, am I being paid all the time? Well, no, you're not being paid when you're in classroom, of course. You're being paid. Management is not something that you can really teach or learn or acquire very well in a textbook, right? And they're very important because there's some theory that you need to know. In some domains it's essential. In management, there's some management theories that are important. But at the end of the day, it's practicing.
And the Munchies is just one example of several things that we're doing on campus. And it involves having a small restaurant, a snack bar in this case, with limited open hours. But instead of hiring people and having professionals do everything, it's in fact the concept of the restaurant, the menu, how it's being operated is essentially as if you were a young entrepreneur and you were opening up your business for the first time. So this past year, because we were starting from scratch, the experience was really a blank slate. Very successful slate for a first year. The idea is, how do we make it better? So the experience going forward will be, okay, you just bought yourself a restaurant. What now? This is a student restaurant. Look, our advisors are not going to allow you to blow the thing up. But ultimately, even the word Mansion Munchies, the students came up with that, okay? You might disagree, you might not like the name of it, but students decide. That's the whole point. And what I liked about what they did downstairs is they didn't follow the recipe of everything else. For example, my understanding is the best cup of coffee is available down there, the best pizza on campus available down there. And so they decided to spend times on certain things that would make them different. In fact, one of the issues that we saw last year is a technology issue. Okay, you just assume that the world is connected to the internet, and somehow, because of the age of this building, it's very difficult sometimes to get a wireless signal there. And when you've got a point of sales terminal, you press and nothing happens because you've lost your connection to the internet. These are real issues. I'm super proud of the students, what I call the inaugural class, or the charter members of Munchies. They're probably your best new employees because